Believe me, sincerely, Tinubu will not, this tax he wants to bring in January, he will not try it.
What's wrong with the tax, by the way?
It is very disheartening that in a nation like ours, that the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces can append his signature on a forged document.
Tinubu is announcing tax. You know why? Because he knows there's nothing any of you can do. Do you know if Tinubu wants to go for third time, he will get it?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News. Now, we are still going to deal with this taxation because we are going to 2026 now, and it's going to kick off from 1st of January 2026. There are just 3 days ahead. Everybody is silent. All content creators have said 1 or 2 things and nobody is talking about it. It's only the Northerners who felt like we don't pay tax to anybody. But all the Southeast people are silent. Now, I want you guys to watch this particular video of Kennethokonkwo. What he said in this video, we'll be right back.
It is very disheartening that in a nation like ours, that the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces can append his signature on a forged document and wants to impose it on the people. You know, the sad thing about this government is the impunity that they display when an abnormality is noticed. A president who has any sense of shame would have immediately pulled that tax. Immediately there was a notification to him that the tax is forged, because forgery is a criminal offense. Honorable Abdul Samad Dasuki, PDP Sokoto, on the floor of the National Assembly, raised the alarm that the harmonized copy that I passed in this National Assembly is different from the gazetted copy. And another Honorable Mansour Soro, he said, the errors were not accidental or coincidental, they were intentional. Meaning there was an intentional act of criminality to forge a document and impose it on the people. So the mens rea has been proved. In other words, the intention of the forgers. Now, what are the differences? The whole idea of forging this tax document is to usurp. The executive wants to use the forgery to usurp the powers of the legislature and the powers of the court. In the harmonized copy, it was the legislature that was given the power of oversight. Of course, that's even a constitutional right. And reporting back mechanism. In the forged copy, in other words, in the gazetted copy, the power was taken away and now given to tax authorities. Power of coercion. So they can now arrest you. And not only arresting you, the power given to them in the harmonized copy is to investigate. The power now that was forged was they have not been given power to arrest. And not just to arrest. They'll be given power to assess your tax. Anything they want to say you are going to pay. And then they have the power now to go to your bank to seize your money in the bank. And they have the power to use your money to purportedly pay your tax without court order. In law, we call it garnishee proceeding. Without court, the tax authorities now have the power to prosecute and to be the judge. Now, when they do such things and you want to go to court, then the forged tax document, in other words, because it's not a law, it's not an act, it's forged. It cannot be an act. An act is passed when the National Assembly passes the act and the president assents to it. Any other alteration, even if it is a punctuation mark, is not the act passed by the National Assembly and is void. So you have obvious contradictions between the harmonized copy by the National Assembly and the forged copy. In other words, the purported gazetted copy, which is now forged, because any alteration to the original document and the originators of the document openly disowns it. That's forgery. When people say it is some provisions, because that is about in section 3, is in section 39, in section 40, section 60, 68, 69, etc. Altered. Let me tell you, if you have 7 credits in your WAEC and you go on your own, the 7 credits is what you got and why I gave you the certificate, and you go on your own and add 1 credit, that makes it 8. You don't say, no, use the certificate. After all, you have 7 credits. There's only 1 that is added. Go ahead and be using it. No, the whole document is now forged because of that 1 credit you added. So the certificate is fake, forged. So even if it is 1 provision that was intentionally altered, the whole tax law is now forged. What a responsible president would have done is to pull it back so that it does not form a national and international embarrassment. Before people even begin to ask, if they had pulled it the first day, nobody will want to know the details. They will say, oh, it must be an unintentional act. The doubling down on your criminality means that it is an intentional act to forge a document, and you now want to impose the forgery on Nigerians. That is unacceptable. That forged tax law should be pulled down immediately. It is illegal, it's unconstitutional, it's criminal. They cannot impose it on Nigerians.
Are you considering the fact that it has got to this point where it is already a law? Are you considering the fact?
No, it's not a law.
You're calling for it to be withdrawn at this point in time.
Yes, because 1, it's not a law.
And you're thinking that Nigerians should be worried over this particular document?
You know, the extent of the disregard for rule of law of Tinubu's government has become so high that I don't think Nigerians are even surprised. The rule of law, this is a government, sorry to say it. You know, one human rights activist said that this government is the government of criminality, and the police is hounding him around. But they have proved him right, because the president appended his signature on a forged document, and rather than shamefully and apologetically pulling it, they are even considering implementing it.
Allegation.
Now,
Substantiated.
Now, what else am I substantiating? Am I a member of the National Assembly? A member of the National Assembly came out on the floor of National Assembly and said that the copy that he passed as a member of the National Assembly is different from the gazetted copy, that is the forged copy. So what else do I need to prove? They are the ones who made the law. They know the contents of their law. And has the government disclaimed it? No. Has there been any serious talk that it was not altered? I even heard Mr. Taiwo, the chairman of the tax reform, he said, and it's laughable, because he said, yes, if there are alterations, they can go ahead and implement the other ones until the alterations are sorted out. So that's a subtle admission that the document is forged. Sorry, you don't do like that. The law that they have is not the law that was passed by the National Assembly. So what that means is that we do not have any tax law, and nobody should go and impose or implement any law on the Nigerian people that is fake. So this government has displayed that it's a fake government, and it is it is quite criminal what was done. So what the president should do immediately is to set up a panel, that is if he's not involved in the forgery, so that they will determine the people that did it and bring them to trial and send them to jail. So nothing is surprising about Tinubu's government in terms of disregard to rule of law. He started with it, and throughout his tenure it is running. Tinubu went to court, the Supreme Court, to get a judgment that the Supreme Court should give a judgment that the federal government should transfer the money of the local government direct to them. More than 1 year, it is not done. That is disregard to rule of law. The judgment of the Supreme Court is sacrosanct. And it is laughable when he was in the caucus meeting that he was telling the governors, obey this law, or I will come in. Let me tell you the truth. Tinubu does not have the intention for the governors to obey the law.
It's not an allegation.
No, it's not an allegation.
Now, you watch this particular video from Kennethokonkwo, you understand everything that he said. Now, I also want you guys to watch this another interview from Volume TV. What this guy said, that Tinubu is no longer just the president, is becoming an emperor who rule all over. Though he's a president that's supposed to rule all over, but the manner of which he's ruling, I can't say it's a dictatorship because DSS will come after you. But I want you guys to watch this particular video.
Tinubu is announcing tax. You know why? Because he knows there's nothing any of you can do. Do you know if Tinubu wants to go for third time, he will get it? With the current realities on ground today,
You think he will get
if
it?
Tinubu wants a third term, he will get it. A man comes in, meet a liter of fuel at 145 naira. Let's even say 200 naira. Right? And he jacks it up to 1,000. And everywhere is so calm. So why is he not being inclusive of the citizens on the street? Why is he not putting them into consideration? Why does he not consider what a parent with 2 kids, 3 kids has to go through to pay school fees, to pay house rent, to buy foodstuffs, to buy clothing, to feed? Let Tinubu walk. Let Tinubu walk in Wuse market without security in the evening. You remove fuel subsidy. Where is the money saved? Where? Do you understand? Oh, you're sharing it with 36 state government. So you are telling me that the reason 200 million Nigerians are in pain is because you want to satisfy 36 people. You are calling him president. I see him as an emperor. His Royal Majesty, King Tinubu. Do you see state governors groveling before this man? Please, when are we, like some of us who are maybe enlightened, exposed, when are we going to have a round table to decide what to do with this country? Because the way this is currently going on is not how a country is run.
Just my people, as the hurt, it don't happen. Now God will bless this guy for speaking out the truth. Please watch this video and don't hesitate to spread this video. Many other people when they see the.
If I were the youth leader, let's say that's the smallest position in the party, me, Henry Shield, if I was the youth leader in PDP or ADC or whatever, believe me, sincerely, Tinubu will not, this tax he wants to bring in January, he will not try it.
What's wrong with the tax, by the way?
Thank you. Very beautiful question. Let me tell you what is wrong with the tax. The money we used in buying that yacht the president bought, was it budgeted for?
No, I didn't recall seeing it in any line.
God bless you. The private jet he bought, the presidential jet he bought, was it budgeted for? The $150 million he used to buy that plane, was it budgeted for? No. Now let me tell you what is wrong with the tax. You are putting the horse before the cart, right? The first thing is to set up a system that holds public officials accountable to the people. I will not give. Have you seen your FIRS chairman? Do you see his convoy? Do you know what the man has been doing with resources around? Let me tell you, we are in a rush. That's not the first thing. Control taxing is not the first thing. First thing is system. Get a system that makes sure that you, as a councillor as a local government chairman, as a commissioner, as a governor, senator, whatever, public funds in your custody, they are something that I can sit down here in this studio, use my phone and access and know how much you have spent and what you spent them for.
Transparency.
On. Do you understand? Not at your own, not by your wish, not like, oh, let me decide on what to give them. No, a system that makes it impossible for you to take my money because it's my tax. The reason why you've not had it up to now, do you know why? Because we've been relying on fuel money, oil money. But now that you want to remove from people's salaries, earnings, man, you've got to account for it. So the first thing is not for us to go and say tax. Can you tell me today what budget we are running?
No, that's the description for it is that it's complicated.
See, I came here honestly out of immense love and respect for you. I won't do anything. I'm tired. Tinubu is announcing tax 5 years, 5 months ahead. You know why? Because he knows there's nothing any of you can do. If it were in a civilized society, he would not try it. If I was, God, there's no opposition to him, and the citizens are tired. The citizens are feeling, they are acting defeated, conquered. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's nothing. Tinubu will have a free ride. Do you know if Tinubu wants to go for third time, he will get it?
Obasanjo tried it. It didn't work out. Why do you think it
I didn't mention Obasanjo.
That's the only person that comes to mind that's tried it.
I said,
talked about it.
I'm asking you now, with the current realities on ground today,
you think he will get
if
it?
Tinubu wants a third term, he will get it.
How?
All the states are currently under him. Are you not seeing what's going on in your country?
So you think the citizens don't voice, or should I say the position don't matter?
The citizens they can't assert themselves. Why should a man come and meet fuel at 141 naira and take it to 1,000 and everywhere is quiet? Why? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get your point.
A man comes in, meets a liter of fuel at 145 naira. Let's even say 200 naira. Right? And he jacks it up to 1,000. And everywhere is so calm. Nobody, there is no government in the world that can give you that 500% increase in fuel.
So,
and you can fast check me.
I do hear you.
Do you know what is going on? They've compromised practically everyone. The media. And I'm not sorry. I know you're in the media. I'm not sorry to say it.
No, it's fine. Just
they've compromised the media. They've compromised civil society. They've compromised student union. They've compromised youth groups. They've compromised the religious leaders, traditional leaders. This man has compromised everything. Security, electoral umpire. He has compromised everything. So you are calling him president. I see him as an emperor. His Royal Majesty King Tinubu. Because what he wants goes. Do you see state governors groveling before this man? This is not how a state is run.
But some opposition, people who have stayed in opposition, even still admire his politics. I mean, I could give an example of Nyesom Wike, who is still a member of the PDP and who is possibly undecided on who would lead. For example, around whether he should back somebody like former President Jonathan, who people are saying, oh, come back or don't come back. But you find somebody like Nyesom Wike, who has stayed long in the PDP, who still admires his politics and works with them.
If you want to talk about politicians, I would rather we don't talk about Wike. Wike is not a politician. Wike is someone who is using the system. And I don't blame him because the Nigerian system allows itself to be used. In saner climes, would you see a Wike in public office? Be sincere.
People will say it's being inclusive of the opposition.
You mean the president?
Yes, if he has an opposition party member, because that's the perspective I've heard.
Fantastic. So why is he not being inclusive of the citizens on the street? Why is he not putting them into consideration? Why does he not consider what a parent with 2 kids, 3 kids has to go through to pay school fees, to pay house rent, to buy foodstuffs, to buy clothing, to feed? That should be what.
Now you watch this particular video, he didn't just end there. I also want you guys to watch the breakdown of Mimi and King Girl on how he explained about this taxation and what you are supposed to expect from this taxation in 2026. And I want you guys to watch the video. We'll be right back.
Over the week, Nigeria entered a memorandum of understanding with France on tax cooperation. So first, what exactly is in this MOU? This agreement was signed between Nigeria's Federal Inland Revenue Service, which is FIRS, and the France Tax Authority. So it is not aid, it is not investment, it is not France borrowing Nigeria money. No, it is a technical cooperation agreement. So in simple terms, France is going to be helping Nigeria upgrade how it collects, tracks, and enforces taxes, and that is it. So, what does this MOU actually cover, and what does it not cover? But first, let's begin with what it covers. Number one, digital tax administration. This means Nigeria wants better system. They want more online filing, more centralized data. They want better tracking of income and transactions. So in plain language, the government wants to see more, they want to know more and reach more people financially. The second one is tax compliance and enforcement. So this agreement focuses heavily on helping Nigeria reduce tax evasion by identifying underreporting and enforcing penalties faster. So what this means is that it will become more difficult to hide income, to become more difficult to delay taxes or operate informally. The third one is important. It is international tax intelligence. Nigeria and France will cooperate on how they are going to be sharing tax information, transfer pricing, tracking profit across borders using the global tax standard. So many companies will have to pay tax where economic activity actually took place. In other words, they want to stop artificial profit movement. And this actually aligns Nigeria with global tax surveillance systems. The fourth one is training Nigerian tax officials. So France will train FIRS staff on how to share expertise. They will help them build technically skilled workforce. And again, all this we've mentioned is about capacity to collect tax. But now let's talk about the one that benefits you. Let's talk about what this MOU doesn't include. This agreement doesn't promise better hospitals. It doesn't include improved schools. We don't have reliable electricity. We don't have roads to work with, no social welfare, no protection when you lose your job. There's no compensation when the government fails. So indirectly, taxpayers have no protection. There's no accountability on how revenue is spent. None of this is in this MOU. So while the state is upgrading its ability to collect, nothing in this agreement upgrades its obligation to deliver. Now, let's compare this with how France operates. France is not a soft country when it comes to taxes. French citizens pay a lot, but in exchange, they get functioning public health care. They have social protection, they have welfare systems, they have legal remedies when the state fails, they have the right to protest and to disrupt. They have courts that can challenge government power. So in France, taxation comes with rights, protection, and accountability. That is the social contract. Nigeria wants the French tax tools without the French social contract. Nigeria wants data system, enforcement power. They want international visibility. They want good compliance tools. But Nigeria doesn't want to provide functional public services, institutional accountability. They don't want any legal protection for taxpayers. So we are now importing the punishment, not the protection. And this brings us to the real issue. Why can't Nigeria balance its books? Because this MOU strengthens the Nigerian state's ability to see and take, but it doesn't strengthen the citizens' ability to demand and resist. That imbalance is dangerous in a democracy. It is a truth at a time. Take care and have a nice day.
Now, this is the second video I'm making about this task. Even in January, I will still try and make 1 or 2 videos because it is out of hand right now. Like I said, what are the benefits of those that are going to be paying this tax? This is just the only question I'm asking because it's going to be like a dictatorship now. Whether you like it or not, you're going to pay tax. Any money that comes to your account, you're going to be accountable for it. Like, why this money? Why did this money? This money about this taxation is good to some extent, but in most extent, in a society where the government don't provide job, either you are a bandit or they don't care, Either you are a prostitute, they don't care. Whatever way you make your money, they don't care, but they just need your tax. That is another part of it that I'm concerned about. If you pay this tax, what will I benefit? What will I gain from paying tax to you as a federal government? The roads are not motorable. You did not fix the road, but I will be paying tax for roads. You did not fix the healthcare because, in fact, even you, the president or the governors or the elites, all of you fly abroad to get your treatment. But we over here, why are we going to be paid tax if you, the federal government or the government, did not trust the healthcare system in Nigeria? Now I'm paying tax, but yet I will use my own money to dig borehole in my house to be drinking. Now I'm paying tax. I will be using my own money to pay vigilante to be protecting me. I'm paying tax. The bear of me losing my job is still upon me. What are the benefits of me paying this tax is the question that I really want Nigerians to ask this government, but all of them are silent. I still ask why. Anyway, I'll be waiting for you guys in the comment section while I say compliment of the season. But still, what do you think about this new taxation law? I'll be waiting for you in the comment section for you to explain to me in your own details, benefit, or the things that you think, oh, I will be paying tax because of this. And for those of you that love this APC government, I'm not saying I hate them, but tell me, why do you think that this tax law is coming? And what are the benefits of those that will be paying tax? If I'm paying tax, for how long? And if I lose my job, what is my benefit? Will I be among those that are working for the federal government? Okay, if maybe as a time you pension or you lose your job, or what are the benefits if I pay tax? What am I gain? This is my question. Peace out.